Hey, it's Dr. J here. I'm your friendly director of programs at the KINNEY Center for Autism Education and Support. I hope you have been enjoying our videos thus far, and today I wanted to focus on something a bit different in our Parent Corner and discuss special education law, the IEP overview, and resources. Within this video today, we will have a check-in, provide a quick overview of special education law, discuss the evaluation, what your role is, details of the IEP and placement decisions, as well as resources and advocacy tips for you and your loved one. In the end, please know that we were here for you every step of the way. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, how is everyone doing? I would like you to like and comment below so we can hear from you during this time of uncertainty. We really miss seeing each and every one of you at our center. And if you have never been to KINNEY before, we hope that our videos provide you with insight into all of the innovative services that we offer in order to fulfill our mission. I like to start off all of my Parent Corner videos with positive affirmations. They can be as simple as, I will learn something new today. Each morning before my family and I begin our day, we try our best to say at least one positive affirmation before we start. Mine today is, I am productive. My mind is clear and focused on making a difference. You can have your children, if possible, participate in this. One of my daughter's favorites is, I am loved. So you can pause the video right now and say your positive affirmation. Okay, now it's time to switch gears and get our house in order with education and service. Due to school being out, and us all being at home, now may be the perfect time to learn about special education law, knowing your rights, and advocating for your child. When looking at special education laws, parents and caregivers are an essential component to their child's education. Guardians are the key to getting the instruction and supports that your child needs at school. No one knows your child better than you. No one spends more time with your child than you, and no one remains in your child's life the way you do year after year. Please note that others can assist you with getting help for your child's needs, such as a psychologist, relative, friend, maybe a therapist, an aide, a tutor, possibly an advocate, an attorney, and a BCBA, and others can be a part of your team. But team members come and go, you remain. Under PA federal law, a child with a disability has the right to special education and related services that are provided without charge, within the least restricted environment, and in the conformity within the individualized education program. Students with disabilities who need special education services must receive a free and appropriate public education. The evaluation is a critical piece to the puzzle when getting services for your loved one. It is important to realize that it is also governed by law. As a result, it is imperative that if you are in need of an evaluation or reevaluation for your child to request it in writing. Please note that it does not stop with the request. A completed permission to evaluate form must be completed to jumpstart the process. If you have yet to hear from your school or district, be sure to follow up, as schools in PA have 60 days from the receipt of your permission form to act. It is important to note that this does not include the summer. Once the evaluation is complete, read it and prepare questions for the team. Here is the state's example of a permission to evaluate form. Following your request, schools should have this form readily available for you to sign. Ensure that you also make a copy for your records and follow up to ensure it is received. Here is a flow chart for the district if you were to request an evaluation versus if you were able to do so personally. It is an important resource to have that informs you of the process of what happens in the event that things do not go so smoothly. Remember, 60 calendar days minus summers to evaluate. That means that from the date that you sign that permission to evaluate consent form, they have 60 days to evaluate your child and issue you an evaluation report. The evaluation report then must be given to you 10 school days before the IEP team meeting. In addition, the IEP team meets within 30 calendar days. So if your child is found to be eligible for special education services, a team must meet to develop the individualized education program within 30 calendar days. The IEP is a written document that is a contract between you and the school. It lists your child's goals and the services that the school will provide to your child to help meet those goals. The school then must implement the IEP within 10 school days. And the IEP must be in effect at the beginning of each school year. So the school must make sure that every child who gets special education services has the IEP in place at the beginning of each school year. The extended school year determination must be made by February 28th for children with severe disabilities. And it's important to note that the IEP must be reviewed at least once a year. Reevaluation occurs at least every 3 years and 2 years for children that are diagnosed with intellectual disability. A number of families have asked, why is the IEP so important? Overall, it creates an opportunity for the team to work together in the best interest of your loved one. It is also a critical document that holds the school district and team accountable for providing services. It ensures teaching strategies and learning, as well as outlines how the system is going to track results and progress. It is a legal document that is required by the Individual with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. The development must be child-centered, have a shared responsibility, within the least restricted environment, forward-thinking, includes positive behavioral supports, and measures instruction and progress. So here's a nice visual that I like to use with families that I found easily on some of the resource pages that we will discuss later on. And you can see kind of how it is a circular process in that respect. Due to the importance of this document, it is important to prepare for the IEP meeting. You can do so by reading your child's evaluation report for big picture items. Throughout the document, make a list of hot topics and follow up with any questions that are needed. Right before the meeting, reread again to clarify. Focus on the good stuff such as IQ testing and assessments that discusses the way that your child learns and processes interventions. This is important because the plan must be individualized to your child's needs. The law places great emphasis on parents' participation in the IEP team meeting. The school must take steps to get one or both of the guardians to attend the IEP meeting. That means that the school must notify you of the meetings early enough so that you can attend, and schedule the meetings at a time and place that is convenient for all parties. The notice of this meeting must tell you the time, date, and location, and also purpose of the meeting. The meeting's notice must also explain who will be in the meeting and tell the parent that you can bring anyone with you who you think has expertise or knowledge about your child. Once the IET team has developed an appropriate program for your child, the team must then determine the appropriate placement. The placement decisions must be based on your child's needs, not an administrative convenience or the concerns of school officials. An important factor in figuring out a child's placement is the least restrictive environment requirement. The law states that children with disabilities must be educated in regular education classes with other children who do not have disabilities as much as it is appropriate. Sometimes this is called inclusion of children with disabilities in regular education environment. The placement decision must be based on your child's individualized needs as determined by the child's IEP and evaluation. When the IEP team meets, the team must first discuss in writing your child's IEP, which outlines their strengths and weaknesses, identifies their learning goals for the year, and lists the amount and type of special education services that your child needs in order to make educational progress at school. At the end of the IEP form, the team must write down how much your child will spend in a regular education classroom and how much time, if any, he or she will spend in a pull-out special education classroom. If your child needs a pull-out classroom to make educational progress, the team must decide what kind of special program your child needs and for how much of the school day. If your child primarily needs to focus on academic skills, learning support might be selected. If your child needs to learn to control behaviors that interfere with his or her learning, the choice might be emotional support. Or if your child needs to learn more basic life skills such as dressing, feeding, and basic academics, life skills might be selected. Depending on your child's disabilities, the team may decide that more than one type of support is appropriate. Remember, the type of support that your child receives does not necessarily determine his or her placement. So, for example, a child who receives learning support may be placed in a regular education classroom for all of the school day, or may be placed in a special education class for learning support for part or all of the school day. Although here at KINNEY, we do not write IEPs, we have provided caregivers with these supports to assist them on their advocacy journey. Please be sure to save these numbers on this slide and websites just in case you are in need of them in the future. So there are free downloadable guides for special education and IEPs in Pennsylvania. There's also a special education consult line, and there's a number in the case you don't agree with officials, there's a number to call so that you can request a special education due process hearing. Here are some basic advocacy tips for you throughout this process. You are going to collect a ton of papers if you haven't already. So be sure to purchase a binder to keep all of your child's more recent evaluations and IEPs together all in one quick location. You also might want to get a small filing cabinet or a filing box to store all of the overflow, because these documents will not only allow you to see your loved one's progress, you'll also have the information needed for the services that your child qualifies for. It might also be important to have a journal or log full of conversations, potential promises, and behavior updates that are very important that the school district provides. Due to the seriousness of these documents, this documentation serves as a great resource for advocates in the event that you're in need of assistance to ensure your child is obtaining the services that he or she is entitled to. Just never forget to prepare. Do your homework. Take notes. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and do not sign anything that you do not understand. Either you can request documentations prior to the meeting, or you can ask to take the papers home to read them prior to signing them. Also realize that your child is not the only one receiving services. As a result, it's important to follow up in writing and to continue to be persistent with ensuring your child's needs are met. In the end, please know that we are here for you at KINNEY. Within our programming, we collaborate with school districts to mirror the IEP goals at the school with the social skill goals within KINNEY. We enjoy collaborating with the school in order to provide innovative programming to enhance the social, behavioral, and developmental needs of the full child. If you are in need of IEP assistance following utilizing the resources provided in this video, please do not hesitate to let us know. We hope that you guys are all safe and well during this time, and we can't wait to see you again. Thank you.